evolution of the magic mirror in the Snow White franchise. The magic mirror makes its debut appearance in the 1916 silent live-action movie Snow White, which is one of the first on-screen adaptations of the original 1812 fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. In this story, the mirror appears as a small, carryable mirror with a long handle and a gold frame, which was given to the evil queen by a witch who made her beautiful in exchange for Snow White's heart, as an all-knowing and always truthful object that will tell the queen whether she's the fairest of them all, although here it isn't revealed how it communicates, and which will lead to her losing her beauty if broken, as happens at the end of the movie. Then, the mirror reappears in the 1933 black and white animated short parody Betty Boop in Snow White, voiced by Cab Calloway. Here it also appears as a small portable mirror, but now has a funny face and hands with white gloves, a squishable handle, and a hole for a lubricant. In the story, the mirror initially tells the queen that she's the fairest in the land, until Betty Boop arrives and changes its answer, causing the queen to try and kill her. In the process, the queen uses the mirror to transform herself and objects around her, revealing that here it has such a power, but eventually it just explodes and makes the queen into a dragon-like monster. Next, the mirror appears in the 1937 animated musical movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which is the first animated feature movie produced in the US that was also inspired by the 1916 movie and based on the original tale, voiced by Maroni Olson. Here, it appears as a spirit, resembling a thin-faced theatrical mask, surrounded by smoke and fire, with greenish and pale overtones in its skin, inside an oval frame, hanging in the queen's private chamber. Although its prehistory isn't revealed, it still retains its neutral nature, being neither bad nor good, and simply always answering the truth to anyone who owns it, such as the evil queen, who for years daily asks it, "Who is the fairest one of all?" In the course of the story, the mirror also provides the queen with information about Snow White when she becomes fairer than the queen, where she is located and whether she's still alive after the queen attempted to kill her, after which it suddenly disappears before the poisoned apple scene. Then, the mirror reappears in the 1961 German live-action adaptation of the original story, Snow White, again in a minor role, with an uncredited voiceover by a woman, which is different from all the other portrayals, voiced by males. Here, the mirror's appearance got noticeably changed, to now being a middle-sized, round mirror on a stand, with an extravagant gold-green frame that includes lamp-like circles that spark while the mirror speaks. Even though its role in the story remains traditional, the lines of its speech were changed to now not only say that Snow White is more beautiful than the queen, but 1,000 times so. In the 1961 live-action comedy movie Snow White and the Three Stooges, the mirror appears in a minor role, voiced by Paul Frees. In the movie, the mirror appears as a large oval wall mirror, which speaks while mainly showing a waving reflection, but which also can show pictures. In the story, it basically replays its role from the 1937 animated movie, but here, it also appears at the end, after the demise of the queen, helping the prince to find the location of Snow White, who was poisoned by the queen. Next, the mirror appears in the 1980 animated TV special A Snow White Christmas, which serves as a sequel to the original fairy tale in a supporting role voiced by Larry Mann. Here, the mirror got an unexpected mixture of traits, with the spirit inside closely resembling the one from the 1937 Disney movie, but with an unprecedented frame featuring golden hands and golden bird legs residing in the evil queen's castle. The role of the mirror gets fully revealed at the end after many years of its use by the queen, who didn't realize that it was the ultimate source of both her powers and life itself, which ends up being the cause of her demise after the mirror shatters because of all the evil the queen had done with it. Following, the mirror appears in the live-action TV series Fairy Tale Theater in the episode Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, voiced by Vincent Price. Here, the mirror is now portrayed as a large oval wall mirror with 2 additional mirrors as doors, while also having a wooden frame with a male face on top, which speaks in answering the evil queen's questions as well as in narrating the story, while also showing various funny face impressions in the process. Interestingly here, the mirror can also talk first, out of its own volition, as shown when the mirror sees Snow White and right away conveys the news to the queen that now Snow White is fairer than her. In one comment, it also revealed that it can't tell a lie because it will shatter it into pieces, and also has shown an ability to show images inside it. At the end, the mirror finishes the story by saying to the queen that the prince's court magician has cursed her to never be able to see her reflection in a mirror ever again, causing her to collapse in shock. In the 1987 live-action musical movie Snow White, which is based on the original 1812 fairy tale, the mirror reappears in its secondary role, voiced by Julian Chagrin. In the movie, the mirror appears as a large, oval wall mirror inside a big white frame. in the form of a leaf with various carvings and faces that can talk on its surface and that can also show images. In the story, the mirror is portrayed as a much scarier and more individualistic object, as shown at the beginning when Snow White first encounters it, and it scares her away by showing her in the mirror and laughing mockingly at her. With regard to its interactions with the Queen, they remain traditional, with the only specialty being its revealed direct link to the Queen's beauty, and even her life. As shown at the end, after the Queen breaks it, it explodes alongside her, making her an old hag first, and then turning her into ashes. Next, the mirror appears in the 1987 live-action TV special, Disney's Golden Anniversary of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, voiced and portrayed by Sherman Hemsley. Here, it appears as a simple oval wall mirror with a face of the actor inside, which is featured during the Evil Queen's funny segments, in which she converses with it while the face makes funny reactions to her. Then, the mirror reappears in the 1989 animated musical adaptation Happily Ever After, which serves as a direct sequel to the Snow White fairy tale, voiced by Dom DeLuise. Here, it appears as a relatively small, rectangular silver-framed mirror called Looking Glass with a speaking head on top. In the story, it is depicted again as much more individualistic and emotional, as shown when it jokes while the brother of the late evil queen, Lord Malice, finds out from it what happened to his sister, during which it shows him images of everything that had happened and also reveals to Malice in the course of the movie where Snow White is located. The 1991 Australian animated musical movie, The Magic Riddle, which combines many different fairy tale stories, including the Snow White one, features the mirror in a minor role. Here, it appears as a big silver-colored mirror inside a bedroom stand, which has the clone of Snow White's or Cindy's cruel stepmother inside that can't speak but can show images and is portrayed to be villainous as opposed to neutral. It mainly helps the stepmother to devise plans of attacks on Cindy as well as the disguises for them, which still fail at the end. Next, the mirror appears in the anime TV series The Legend of Snow White, which is based on the original tale, as a supporting character, voiced with no credited actors. Here, it at first appears as a big oval mirror inside a silver frame in the form of two snakes, which can talk and show images, and in this version also serves as the evil queen's object for magical rituals. But then, at the end, it gets revealed to actually be a portal to another dimension where different spirits are trapped, including the good spirit called Speck, who has been answering the queen all these years, as well as a place for the evil spirit who had possessed the evil queen until she died due to the use of black magic. The mirror was ultimately the object that helped Prince Richard to defeat the evil spirit and save Snow White. In the live-action TV miniseries, The 10th Kingdom, the mirror appears in a significant role, as 5 magic mirrors each serving a different purpose: a traveling mirror, a spying mirror, a mirror to remember, a mirror to forget, and a mirror to rule the world, with each of them having an ancient look and being contained in black, sculpted frames. These mirrors were the source of much of the evil queen's power and made her the most powerful woman in the 9 kingdoms, until they eventually became the cause of her defeat by the main characters, Virginia Lewis and her father Tony, who used them to stop her and save the 9 kingdoms. The mirror reappears in the 2001 animated crossover movie Mickey's Magical Christmas, Snowed In at the House of Mouse, in its Disney incarnation being located in the lobby of the house and also getting framed in gold wreaths and given a Santa hat by the star on the Christmas tree. In the 2001 live-action movie, Snow White, the Fairest of Them All, based upon the traditional story, the mirror appears in a major role, portrayed by various main characters. Here, it first appears as just a middle-sized, portable mirror inside a wooden frame with a handle, given to the evil queen by her brother, the Green-Eyed One, that transformed her from a hideous witch to a beautiful woman, and allows her to see others unseen and to deceive the king of the kingdom, John. In addition to this one mirror, after becoming the queen, she has created for herself a special room, full of many large wall mirrors, which all constantly answer to her that she's the fairest of them all, while showing her doppelgangers coming out of the mirrors. Her portable mirror can also show images like a screen and fly, while spying on anything, teleport her, work as an aimed flying weapon, and transform her outer appearance by going through it, as shown when she becomes Snow White's late mother, to kill her. At the end, however, all her evil deeds have caused the mirror to turn her back into her hideous form, after which she breaks it and gets defeated by the garden gnomes. Then, in the 2001 animated TV series House of Mouse, the mirror makes many cameo appearances after being installed in the lobby of the club, voiced by Tony J. In the series, it acts as the club's on-site consultant, often providing advice when asked by Mickey and his friends, as well as answering questions about the club's guests, while also generally refusing to help the queen, as revealed in the first episode, The Stolen Cartoons, where it says to the queen to save it, calling her Queenie, and that everyone's fairer than her. Then, in the 2002 animated movie Mickey's House of Villains, the mirror mainly cameos in the background throughout the movie, and also at the beginning inside the lobby while Donald looks in it, admiring his devil costume. Next, the mirror reappears in the 2004 German live-action comedy movie Seven Dwarfs Men Alone in the Wood, which is loosely based on the 1812 story of Snow White, replaying its traditional role portrayed by Rüdiger Hoffmann. Here, it appears as a large oval silver wall mirror with lighting around it, doors which can close, and a spirit of a talking male head inside that can be physically affected from the outside, as shown when the evil queen throws a red liquid in its face. The spirit is also shown to be able to move from one mirror to another, as exampled by it appearing in Snow White's small mirror to inform her about the queen's plans to capture her. In the 2005 live-action movie, The Brothers Grimm, which is a fictional reimagining of the story about Brothers Grimm, the mirror appears in a supporting antagonistic role portrayed by Monica Bellucci. Here, it appears as a large wall mirror inside the evil queen's castle, which is the source of her eternal life, and which has her youthful self inside it as a reflection, while she's lying in her bed and waiting to drink the blood of 12 young women to regain her beauty. The mirror is shown to have the ability to manipulate and mesmerize whoever looks in it, like one of the Grimm brothers, who was almost caught by her offering him anything he wished. At the end, even though her youthful reflection manages to come out since the mirror is directly connected to the queen, once one of the brothers breaks it, the queen breaks and then explodes as well. Then, the mirror reappears in the 2006 German live-action comedy movie, Seven Dwarfs the Forest is Not Enough, which is the sequel to the 2004 movie, again portrayed by Rüdiger Hoffmann. In the story, the mirror's spirit head appears inside a mirror in the forest after the dwarves say the magic phrase, calling upon it, after which they want to come through it to get to real Germany, as if through a portal, with it initially trying to change their minds, but then letting them go through. And then it appears at the end as a mirror in the railway station, through which the dwarves return back to their magic land, while the spirit says that he's already sick of it. In the 2009 animated movie Happily and Ever After 2, Snow White Another Bite at the Apple, the mirror reappears in a supporting role, voiced by Jim Sullivan. Here, the mirror appears as a big heart-shaped mirror, which stands on the floor rather than hanging on a wall, inside a thin metal frame with the spirit of a male head inside, which resembles a djinn. In the story, Lady Vane, who's actually an evil witch, uses the power of the mirror to disguise herself as the late Queen Grace to deceive her husband, King Cole, and try and become the next queen herself. Interestingly, this version of the mirror spirit talks in modern American English and also clearly shows its own will and personality, as shown when it responds to Lady Vane's threat to break it with a reminder that it is the source of her beauty and without it she's nothing. Also here, the mirror is the one that gives the witch the enchanted apple, but now it's an apple that will make Snow White say the rudest things possible to everyone to destroy her reputation. However, her plan fails at the end after Snow White apologizes before everyone, after which Vane orders the mirror to kill Snow White by creating a whirl of lightning, which ends up in her defeat after the lightning hits the mirror, breaking it and revealing her true identity. In the ABC's fantasy drama TV show Once Upon a Time, the magic mirror makes its debut in the first season where it is portrayed by Giancarlo Esposito. It is based on the original character from the 1812 fairy tale, as well as on the Disney 1937 movie and on the genie from the Aladdin fairy tale and the Disney movie. Here, it was formerly known as Genie of Agrabah, who was a powerful magical being imprisoned within the confines of a magic lamp, able to grant wishes to all who happen to come across it in their travels. Soon, he falls in love with Queen Regina, and then, believing she reciprocates his love, murders King Leopold with a viper by her instruction and admits on the man's deathbed that he was the one who gifted Regina the mirror. Only after the deed is done does he realize Regina has only been using him to get rid of her husband. With his heart broken, the genie frantically uses the last wish to be with her forever and to look upon her face always, which, much to his dismay, leads to him becoming trapped in the form of a magic mirror in the world behind the mirror and being able to look upon her forever. However, following the dark curse, in the real-world town of Storybrooke, the man in the mirror, known as Sidney Glass, plays the role of a news reporter and an ally of the evil queen. Then, the mirror appears in the 2012 fantasy movie Grimm's Snow White, based on the original story by the Brothers Grimm. Here, it appears as a big, rectangular wall mirror placed within a massive golden frame, which houses a big face of a spirit that comes out after Snow White's stepmother, Queen Gwendolen, uses her magic stones and speaks the magical phrase to call upon it and mainly asks it whether she's the fairest of them all. In the 2012 movie Mirror Mirror, the mirror appears as a large mirror that serves as a portal to the mirror realm, where a large hut exists filled with mirrors surrounding the room. Queen Clementiana consults with the magic mirror, which has the younger reflection of the queen inside, and would always advise Clementiana not to use dark magic for her own gain. After the queen aged into an old crone, she took a slice of the poisoned apple which she was intending to give to Snow White from her. As the queen ate the apple, the mirror declared that it was Snow White's story all along, after which it suddenly shattered, causing both the mirror realm and the mirror portal to be destroyed. The magic mirror, credited as the Mirror Man, appears in the 2012 live-action movie Snow White and the Huntsman in a significant role, voiced by Christopher Obey. It is portrayed as both a golden gong-like object and, in its spirit form, a shape-shifting, robed and faceless person whose entire being is seemingly composed of gold and liquid, but can also be broken like glass. In the movie, it is unknown who made the mirror, where it came from, or when it was made. At some point, the mirror came into the possession of the sorceress Ravenna, who carried the mirror along wherever she went and used its powers to aid her in conquering various kingdoms. The mirror has many magical abilities, most notably the power to answer any question completely truthfully, and by extension also predict the future. The mirror told Ravenna on the 18th birthday of her stepdaughter Snow White that the princess had now surpassed her as the fairest and had the power to defeat her. But it also predicted that should Ravenna consume her heart, she would be all-powerful for all eternity. However, at the end, it never came to pass, because as the mirror had also predicted, Snow White defeated Ravenna by fatally wounding her and taking back the throne. The mirror appears in the second act of the long-running nighttime show Fantasmic, where it, voiced by Tony Jay and projected onto water screens, replies that Mickey Mouse's imagination creates fairer things than the evil queen. Jealous, the queen transforms herself into the witch and uses the mirror to summon various forces of evil, including Ursula, Chernabog, and Maleficent. In the animated TV show Descendants' Wicked World, the hand mirror that contains a shard of the magic mirror starts the short animated episodes off when Evie asks it to show her the future to see what happens when their stories unfold. Evie doesn't use the mirror or its magic like she did in the movie because both she and Mal are trying to be good by not using it or Mal's spellbook. Despite this, Evie did talk to it in the episode Voodoo You Do after looking at herself in a mirror in a shop on the Isle of the Lost. She wanted to make sure that both the mirror and the reflection it gives of her knew that she still loved them so the mirror itself wouldn't get jealous. The spirit of the mirror's head can also be seen as a large mask in the Facilier shop as Mal, Evie, Ben, and Audrey walk into it. In the 2015 animated movie Descendants, the mirror is reduced to a simple hand mirror, as the evil queen was only able to hold onto a shard of her former possession, and like most previous versions, it also can answer any question. Evie, the daughter of the evil queen, is given the mirror when she leaves for Oregon, and this time it shows answers on the glass and requires to be asked in rhyme. Additionally, the magic mirror can be seen in front of the evil queen's statue in the Museum of Cultural History. The mirror reappears in the 2016 live-action movie The Huntsman: Winter's War, which is the sequel to the 2012 movie Snow White and the Huntsman, voiced by Fred Tatasciore. After Queen Ravenna was killed by Snow White in the first movie, her dark vital essence became one with the magic mirror, and her spirit took the entity's place in it to evade passing on into the afterlife. She was able to use the mirror to torment Snow White, who initially kept it locked away, having no use for it herself. Years later, however, when the mirror's dark and forbidding presence grew too strong, Snow White ordered it to be taken to the sanctuary, believing the good magic of the place would be able to suppress the mirror's evil. But, unfortunately, the mirror was able to influence the guards escorting it and cause them to turn on each other. The mirror was eventually recovered by Ravenna's sister, Freya, who used it to resurrect her by saying, "Who's the fairest of them all?" After discovering Ravenna enchanted Andrew in the past to kill his own newborn daughter, Queen Freya turns on her sister and uses her cryokinetic powers to freeze the mirror, while the huntsman shatters it and destroys both Ravenna and the mirror. In the 2018 animated movie Ralph Breaks the Internet, the mirror appears in the princess's room during the scene where Snow White pulls out the poisoned apple. In the 2019 animated South Korean movie Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarfs, the mirror reappears as a secondary antagonist, voiced by Patrick Warburton, who now acts sarcastically and eccentrically, and also enjoys watching people suffer. Its face resembles part of a wooden mask with glowing yellow lights for eyes, with the area behind its face appearing to be made up of purple crystals. It is attached to and in control of a giant, magic tree planted in the throne room of Queen Regina's castle, where it is serving as an informer and an assistant of Regina, the main antagonist of the show, in carrying out her plans. In the story, after Snow White escapes the castle with the red shoes, the mirror tells Regina that the one wearing the shoes is the fairest in the land. However, upon being ordered to tell Regina her name, it says it doesn't know. In the end, it fights with the Fearless Seven, led by their leader Merlin, until Jack shatters it by hitting it. The mirror next appears in the animated TV show The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse in the episode Once Upon an Apple, serving the same function as in the original movie voiced by Chris Diamantopoulos. In the story, after the evil queen gets tricked into eating her own apples, the mirror reveals that Mickey is now the fairest in the land, earning him a punch and leaving a black eye. It is later shown wearing a Mickey Mouse ears hat and happily singing the Mickey Mouse Club theme song. Then, the mirror cameos in the chibi form at the museum in the animated comedy TV show Chibi Tiny Tales, in the episode Descendants Date Night. Next, the magic mirror's face makes a cameo in the 2023 animated movie Wish, when King Magnifico gets sucked into his staff after his plot to hoard all of his people's wishes for himself failed. Since the movie has tied in all previous Disney movies as Easter eggs throughout the story, it can be theorized that Magnifico might be the former identity of the magic mirror, as he is left as part of a magic mirror shard at the end. The magic mirror appears in the 2023 animated crossover special LEGO Disney Princess The Castle Quest, serving as an assistant to an arrogant hunter named Gaston, who is the main antagonist, voiced by Corey Burton. When Gaston asks the mirror about how many castles he controls, it tells him that he controls many castles while showing images of them, including Snow White's castle, and that he could gain even more kingdoms as long as nobody interferes. When King Triton proposes a challenge to defeat Gaston by bringing his bravest warriors, the magic mirror summons Snow White, Ariel, Tiana, Rapunzel, and Moana, for they are the only ones that could outbest him and save the kingdoms. Before the challenges, however, the mirror is confronted by Snow White, who wants to smash it because of what had happened during the events of the original movie, but then fearfully apologizes before her and gets forgiven as a result. After Gaston's defeat, the magic mirror reveals to the princesses that the castle is also made for them. Finally, the mirror reappears in the 2025 live-action remake, Snow White, being voiced by Patrick Page. Here, its story gets expanded as a mystical artifact, and it is also hinted that the mirror has a deeper lore, and is a conduit to something beyond the mortal world. In the story, after years of using the mirror repeatedly to affirm that the evil queen is the fairest in the land, she lashes out in anger at the mirror and breaks it in the climax of the movie, after discovering that Snow White will always be fairer than her. But this doesn't actually destroy it, and instead creates a rift into nether space and takes the queen inside, reducing her to ash, and then repairs itself afterwards.